Q&A, there's a couple things that we'd like to talk about regarding the band. We're in touch with them every day, and they are having a really hard time. The Syrian government recently, about three days ago?
3 days ago, the Syrian government again sort of issued a statement to the effect that they're going to start sending Iraqis back to Iraq. And anyone with an Iraqi passport has to get their visa renewed every 2 months. Our guys have about a month left on their visas, and then they'll be shipped back to Iraq. Obviously, this can't happen, and they can't go back to Iraq because they'll die. So what we're trying to do everything in our power to help them. We've set up a website, heavymetalinbaghdad.com, where you can register your name and send the band a little bit of support, a donation. We're trying to get some money together to get them out of the country. We also, everyone was given a ballot before they walked into the theater. And we think the more press that this film gets, the more that their case might be taken into consideration. The Canadian government's been particularly bad about helping them, and rude. And the American government obviously hasn't really gone out of their way to help these guys. But if you could vote for this film, we think you'd be voting for really great guys that don't deserve to suffer the way they have been right now.
And we'd like to thank TIFF for inviting the band. They wrote a great letter of invitation, which the band took to the Canadian Embassy in Damascus, and they were flat out rejected. So, by our calculations, the band has 15,000 MySpace friends. If every one of those people donated $3 to $5, that would be enough to get them to a safer place. So we're really trying to get the word out and get people to take some action. So should we do the Q&A or should we? Okay. Well, there. On the Heavy Metal in Baghdad site, we set up a blog for the band, and they wrote a message 2 nights ago. It's kind of long, so I won't read the whole thing. You start it. Okay, when you get bored, I'll take over.
First and foremost, we would like you to know that this letter have been writing in Thursday. They're not the greatest. I mean, it's in Cressica English. This letter have been writing in Thursday midnight from the heart of Syria, Damascus, and the reason that stands behind the idea of writing this message is to let you know that the Iraqi heavy metal band Cressica that you have been reading about lately and seen on websites, TV, and film, also heard on radio stations, is more than just 4 guys with passion about playing their heavy metal music. There is an idea that stands behind this band, and that idea is unbreakable. Today we want to share this idea with you. And there are a large number of reasons why we want to do that. Maybe is this new blog, maybe the reason is you, the support, dedication, and most of that, finding someone who truly cares about out there in this world. We sat together, and by we mean Marwan, Tony, Faisal, Faraz, and for more than an hour we've been thinking in this small room of the basement where we live, what kind of terms should we use, and do we need some smart words? But after all, we thought we should speak our minds, and most importantly, our hearts. So thank you for whatever you have been doing, and the double horns goes from us to you.
That's pretty good, right? I'm going to skip to the end of it because there's something else we want to read. We want to leave some time for the Q&A. That's in the front stuff. So we'll just go to the end. As they said in the Canadian Embassy for the second time, and as many of you heard, that we are not able to perform or to play our music anymore as a band altogether for a lot of reasons. Plus, there is no way to make a living, so after all, there is no chance other than going back to Iraq, where the chances of staying alive there are 0%. So the last thing that hits our mind is to seek your help, to help get us out of here, where we're going to be able to live the dream of our life and being out there on stage with you wherever you are. Thanks to you and whoever have helped, who made our voices are able to be heard, so thank you for your time and support. Let the metal unite us. Let the metal rules. Across the Canada. And the last thing was in the Toronto Star. It was in today's paper. It was an interview, and Marwan got on the phone with the Star, and he talked about his experience at the Canadian Embassy in Damascus. He said, "They made me feel like a terrorist. I said, let me defend myself. This is the moment of our lives. This is a film we all want to watch more than any other person down there. It's been an 8-year fucking journey down there, and we lived through the threats. People called us Americanized, saying that they were going to kill us. We just moved on. We've been worrying about our lives and our families just for playing music that we love, that we're passionate about. They denied us that right in Iraq. They denied us that in Syria. They denied us even that right in the Canadian Embassy. So I'm not expecting any fucking democracy in this fucking world."
It's kind of a negative place that Marwan's in right now, but we kind of sympathize with him. And I think, the challenge to us as filmmakers was to try and communicate their story and their situation, and in doing so, maybe in some small way, let you guys see a little bit of what has been going on in Iraq on a massive scale. We're talking about 2 million people displaced internally, 2 million displaced outside the country. This is the world's fastest growing refugee crisis, and I think maybe we can do something about it. Questions?
Into that.
I'd like to know where the Hollywood ending was, and why didn't the demo tape come back to New York and you shop it around to Rick Rubin and company, and have a happy ending?
How about a sequel, maybe?
Yeah, we're working on that happy ending right now.
We're talking to a lot of bands, and System of a Down has reached out to these guys, and we're talking to some other people, and we want to do whatever we can to help these guys out, but it's a struggle.
Yeah, I think there's they're on Slayer's radar, they are on Metallica's radar now, and the goal is to get them out into America, get them on Ozfest. I mean but it's just really challenging to pull that off. Anyone else?
Hi guys. I recently returned actually from filming in the Middle East, also on refugee situations, and one thing I noticed in your film, there was a scene where there was a discussion basically about how the media has manipulated the rift between Sunni and Shia. And one thing that during conversations I had, people talked about how that media has actually developed that rift, and so now it's changing. So since that was earlier in your discussions with the band, I was wondering if they talked any more about how that rift is actually changing and manipulating.
I don't know how to answer this question, because since they left Iraq, they really aren't there. They haven't been involved in the changing, fluctuating, kind of chaos between various factions and sects over there. I think what Faraz was trying to say is that this is a political play that's happening on a level that can't be generalized in terms of Sunni versus Shia, or Shia versus Sunni. It's a chaos that's just born out of the power vacuum. America had no plan. They went in there, they destabilized the country. There was no reconstruction effort. There was, but it all went into the pockets of KBR and Halliburton and whatnot. Americans got rich basically off of the rape of Iraq. And the power vacuum just left everyone fending for themselves. It turned into utter chaos. When they say, this is what life is like in Iraq, death on the road, that's what life is like in Iraq.